Hi there, I'm Mick Elliott, the author and illustrator of Squidge Dibley Destroys the School. And I'm here with my dog Gypsy, who's chosen this moment to try to eat my face off because your Pyjama Angel can't be here right now. So I thought I would jump in and read you a little bit from my book Squidge Dibley Destroys the School. Now this is the story of the craziest Year 6 class ever. And the funny thing about this Year 6 class, they're called 6PU. They go to a school called Craglands South Primary, and they have a horrible, horrible teacher. His name is Vice Principal Hoovsley. We're going to hear a little bit about Vice Principal Hoovsley in this little excerpt from the book. So you ready? Gypsy, you ready? Okay, let's do it. Oh, and I should warn you, there's a warning on the back for adults that says too gross for grown-ups. So if there are any adults listening, you might find this book a little bit disgusting, and sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. This is from chapter 16. Squidge Dibley Destroys the School. Vice Principal Hoovsley is obsessed with Swim Squad. It used to be voluntary, but he made it compulsory for every student at Craglands South Primary, whether they know how to swim or not. He is desperate to win the annual Junior Regional Water War. It's a yearly swimming carnival between Craglands South Primary, that's us, and Craglands North Private, which is this posh school where all the kids from rich families go. Now they have this amazing Olympic-sized swimming pool with crystal clear water, and their swim team all look like human dolphins. We've never won against them ever. In fact, we've never won against anybody. There's a rumour that Vice Principal Hoovsley thinks that he'll get a job as a swim coach at Craglands North Private if we ever beat them. So whenever anyone complains about squad training, he yells, "Everyone swims till Craglands South wins." So every class has to do an hour of swimming training every week, even in winter, even the kindergarten kids. It's not fun swimming either. It's just laps, back and forth, with no free time afterwards. And if anyone stops swimming, he makes the whole class swim an extra lap. Now, the worst thing is that we have to train at the pool at the senior citizens' home across the road. The water is warm and yellow. And there's always something disgusting floating in it, like tufts of hair and band-aids with bits of scab stuck to them. Once, there was an oversized nappy with brown ooze leaking out of it. And another time, there was a big, dark lump on the bottom of the pool. Shane Sluisman swam down to check it out, and it turned out to be a dead rat. Worst of all was the time when we were practicing laps of butterfly and something soft and green bumped into Lenny Battisto's goggles. He flicked it out of the way, but Rennie Gross was surging up out of the water behind him, and the green thing went right into his mouth. And it was a toe, an actual, real-life, rotten human toe. It had fallen off an old guy who'd been doing aqua aerobics. Straight away, Rennie started throwing up right there in the water, and everyone who was swimming in the lane behind him started swallowing his vomit, and then they all started throwing up as well, and the whole lane turned into a churning, buff fountain, and meanwhile, the toe was bobbing around and bumping against people's faces, and everyone was screaming and vomiting and trying not to let the toe touch them or swallow other people's vomit. It was horrible. Then, Vice Principal Hoovsley started yelling at everybody to keep swimming, and when we tried to explain that there was a rotten toe and a whole heap of upchuck in the water, he shouted, "Stop being so childish." So we had to keep swimming. But this was nothing compared to the disgustingness that lay ahead. And if you want to hear about that, you can hear about it in Squidge Dibley. Gypsy, did you find that too gross? I hope you guys didn't find that too gross. I hope you enjoyed it, and it's been an absolute pleasure reading a little bit of Squidge Dibley Destroys the School to you guys.